what the program is,
okay,
the application. And we've also invited people in from the regional federal office to come in to assist with the explanation of what exactly does this plan mean. And so that's important. Agency people, you need to become more adverse. I mean, you need to become more conversant with this plan, because if you don't know what's required, you won't know what to expect.
Exactly. Now, does this exclude any walk of life?
Oh no, absolutely.
And that's important.
The Muslim Center is hosting this event.
Okay.
I'm the president of the Motivational Center, and both centers, they do not discriminate based upon race, creed, color, or national origin. It is our 501c3 component of this particular organization. Okay. So no one is excluded, you know, but you have to wear a shirt. And you have to wear shoes.
Okay.
You know, but
so the attire is comfortable.
The attire is comfortable. We will have a luncheon.
That was my other question.
Yeah, around 1 o'clock.
So there's a luncheon that's going to be provided for free?
For free. Everything is for free.
All right.
So what we're saying to folk is, look, yes, we ran an election. It is what it is to some people, not necessarily me.
That's right.
But nonetheless, this is what we promised those that came out to support us, that we were going to begin to implement our ideas.
That's right. Win or lose. That's right.
And win or lose. And let me say this: the day after the election, I received a letter from the Assistant Secretary of Employment and Training at the United States Department of Labor.
Okay.
And so I was real encouraged and motivated by that. So we went right into implementation of our ideas in our program.
Oh man,
so we're real excited about this. We're excited because this is an opportunity. And let me say this: I started receiving referrals. I got more telephone calls from elected officials and agency people than I got the whole time I was campaigning. You know,
does happen.
So what we're saying is that agency folk, send your people. If you have somebody that's looking for a job or looking for training or looking for a pardon, send your people to this workshop. We're not expecting you to stay all day.
Yes,
it just come and partake in what we have going on at that time.
Is it an open dormitory setting or is it classrooms?
It's an open dormitory setting.
Okay, so everything will just run in the time segment.
That's exactly correct.
Is there an itinerary that we can go online to see how?
Right now, I'm still developing the itinerary. I can say this, that in the afternoon segment, we will be having presentations from individuals that's dealing with reentry, housing and construction.
Yes.
We're going to have people, violence reduction. So we've lined up a whole host of individuals that can really offer us some.
So y'all have speakers that cover every basis?
Oh, absolutely. We have them all lined up. And hopefully we've already asked that you,
I'll definitely be there.
That you be there, and that, because you do a great job when it comes to construction and housing, and not only that, the bail.
That's right.
You know, I mean, because it's important to understand that once a person is released on bail, if they don't have a job,
that's right,
you know, then they need to come to this workshop too.
Excellent.
Right.
And one thing I can appreciate you too, Brother Dwight, it's an ongoing thing with you. You've always found anything that affects the communities. And ladies and gentlemen, what he said earlier, there's no ethnicity bearing or culture bearing on who shows up or how he helps you. It's where it may put the difficulties in your life. That's called the cracks and crevices.
Right.
And this is what's important. We need more Brother Dwights. We need more people like Brother Bovell in the community. And you know what? All we're doing is, and I want to say this too, ladies and gentlemen, and while I got you, you know, gingerly on the air, you know, in 2004, when Brother Bovell stepped up to the plate and ran for mayor, do you know the mindset of our young people was like, I never even know that we could run. I didn't even know we can stand up to the plate and challenge government. And since then, since then, do you know the doors that has opened for a vast of young individuals who stand up, some who are in office, some who keep trying and not in office. But what I did was shake the tree to let you know that once you have ripened, it's all right to come off that tree and to start doing your job in the community. And that's what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And, you know, Brother Dwight is probably feeling the same way. He wants somebody to pick up that torch, you know, and carry this torch. You know, but we're not promised to be here forever.
That's right.
And our children and our children's children, and we're losing our children. And that's why we call ourselves getting into, you know, cutting it off at the path to give a different level of inspiration and another drive. Because just think, if Brother Bovell did not stand up in 2004 and fight for that right, we probably would still think, you know, those people can marry into them seats. So we're making politicians, you know, we're making them campaign. We're making them go out here and do commercials and stand up to the challenge. And you know what? One thing I can respect, his name is Richard. I won't say his last name, from the Rotary Club. I've received a couple letters from him. We also received a campaign donation from him as well, probably as of the other candidates. But one thing he said in a letter and an email specifically to our campaign was, you know, what I can appreciate about you is every year that you've ran on a platform or you ran on something, somewhere government has utilized that part of the platform. So it means your message is resonating. He said, Robert, don't give up. It's just got enough people got to feel it and step into it. And as long as we implementing something that's going to give us the change, where we don't lose our young people, where families and parents don't give up, I know that the job is being done. Sometimes, and there's a book that I'm writing, and you just heard it here first, you know, Winner by Defeat. It's going to be an excellent book. It's going to talk about a lot of things that comes from just, you know, the quality of life and working and being a father and being, you know, being someone in the community, being a bail bondsman. But it's going to be a book that you're going to get. It's going to be a #1 seller. I know it is, because we're taking our time writing it. But that's what we need to do, get that information out there. Brother Dwight, I know you said there was different people. Can you give us some of the highlighted names while we got a viewing audience that may be in attendance that might put a fire under their feet?
Well, yours truly, you know, I've got a long history
yes, sir.
With pardons. Brother Kurt Lacey is also going to be a presenter. Brother Kurt Lacey is formerly with the Hope Commission.
Okay.
And, you know, he's foremost in the area of reentry. You know, but what I want to say is about the whole system that we're dealing with, Mr.
Yes,
Bovell,
sir.
is that there's a book, and I recommend anyone listening to read this book. It's called Economic Hitman, and it's by John Perkins. And John Perkins says this: there's an assumption in this particular system that public officials are corruptible. There's an assumption that public officials are corruptible. And so when a public official, not necessarily just elected, refuses to allow themselves to be corrupted, then the system takes offense to a public official that refuses to be corruptible, because it poses a threat to this type of system. And I just want to say that because I campaigned on campaign reform and reforming corruption. And so it's important to know that a lot of corruption took place on 9/11 in the 2012 primary election. And I just want to say to those that are listening that if you go on Facebook, you can follow this whole line of discussion. And what we've done, we sent a letter out to our Attorney General, Beau Biden, explaining to him, in our opinion, what those areas of corruption were. I received a letter from the Newcastle County Department of Election around the 17th of this month, and they apologized for causing confusion in where people were supposed to vote.
Wow.
But see, a lot of people don't really know and understand. This was the first primary election since redistricting. And so every census, every 10 years, there is a redistricting. And so the plan was put in place as to who would be selected to run the city of Wilmington way back in the redistricting period. So to say that you weren't aware that people, voting places had been changed, which caused confusion, and then not only that, it caused people not to vote. we don't hear too much anymore about the Voting Rights Act. We take for granted that there's been no fight, no one has fought for us to be able to vote. But there was a real system of gerrymandering and confusion in this past election, and this is not a whine, so I'm not whining. I'm letting the public know that there were a lot of things put in place that determined the outcome of the September primary election that was beyond the average voter's even view. And so don't take for granted your right to vote, but at the same time, don't go without thinking about those who paid the price to put laws in place so that we can begin to vote.